To view this video in Malayalam, you can click the link given above. Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We are now learning the chapter Cell, the Building Block of Life from the new NCERT textbook. In the previous chapter, we learned about microscopy, the parts of microscope, and generally about cell. We know there are unicellular organisms with a single cell doing all the functions of the body. At the same time, multicellular organisms have a lot of cells in the body, but they are well organized. A group of cells with a similar functions and structure are organized to form a tissue. Many tissues form organs, many organs form organ system, and organ systems will turn into an organism. The basic unit of life is cell, and we learn each cell is a functional unit of life. So in such case, how can a cell function like this, or what are the parts of a cell? That's what we are going to explain and explore henceforth in this chapter, that is about the structure of a cell. Generally speaking, before we go into the depth of each part, generally speaking, a cell can have three parts. The first part is the cell membrane, or a boundary is required. Imagine if that boundary is not there to define, can we call it a cell? Not possible. Because imagine if there is a ground. I am going and sitting in one corner of the ground and telling that this is my office room or this is my bedroom. Is it possible? No, because there is nothing to define my space. Anybody can enter into that. But at home, we all have different walls separating different rooms. Suppose one room I dedicated to me, I am telling this is my room because there is a wall and a door which is separating it from the rest. Right? So that boundary is there for defining that space. This is what is the function of the first part, that is a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. Cell membrane is otherwise called a plasma membrane, which is the outer defining layer or outer boundary of a cell which separates the rest of the environment from that cell. It protects also, and also it is for the constant interaction with the environment or the other cells. Now inside that there is cytoplasm, because imagine if cell membrane is not there, the cytoplasm will diffuse and there is no concept of cell. So all the cytoplasm held inside with the help of this boundary or the plasma membrane, and the cytoplasm has many organelles in it, and there is a nucleus also in majority of the cells, and these are the three parts of a cell. And in certain cases there is an outer rigid covering also, that is called a cell wall. But cell wall is not common for all the cells. Plant cells have cell wall, bacteria have cell wall, and there are certain other lower organisms like fungi also have cell wall, but not all. So cell wall is an optional part of the cell, but cell membrane is an inevitable part of the cell, because without a cell membrane we cannot say the cell exists. So we call it as a universal feature of a cell. Any cell should have a cell membrane, but there can be cells without a cell wall as we mentioned, or there can be cells without nucleus also. But what is necessary? The cell membrane or the boundary is necessary. So that is the universal feature of a cell. As I mentioned, it can also be called a plasma membrane. And now the cell membrane is selectively permeable. We are talking about permeability here. Permeability means allowing substances to move in and out. For example, if I am having an office where the door is maybe half door and there is no restriction, anyone can come in and go as and when they require to see me. So students are coming in and other teachers are coming in, or parents are coming in, anyone can come in as they wish without any prior appointment or permission. They just knock the door, they open the door and come inside, and I am allowing them, and whoever comes to meet me are all allowed to go back also, right? So there is no restriction. So that is called a permeable membrane. Now come to the second stage, where I am keeping a person there, or I am keeping a biometrics there, so I am restricting the entry into the room. So there are a few people who have already assigned the permission to enter my room, so they can just put the biometrics and they can come inside. Or I am keeping a person there to see who all are coming. I am telling, okay, don't allow any parents today into my room, or don't allow any students today into my room. I am doing an important work, only teachers are allowed. So here what am I doing? In this case, I am allowing a few people to come inside the room, not allowing a few people to come inside. So that is called a selectively permeable. I am selecting who can come inside, who cannot come in. So that is called a selectively permeable. Our cell membrane is selectively permeable. The next case is impermeable. Suppose I am going to have lunch. I am telling that person, don't let anyone inside. I will call allow after my lunch. So that time I am closing the door for everyone. Nobody is allowed to enter. So that is called impermeable. So the membranes can be of these three types. It can be either permeable, allowing everything to go in and out anytime, like cell wall is permeable. Whereas second is a semi-permeable or selectively permeable, where it will allow only certain substances to come in and certain substances to move out also. So selectively allowing, that's called a selectively permeable. And the third is impermeable, not allowing anything to come in and out of the cell. So we are talking about cell membrane which is selectively permeable. Now we are going to the concept of movement of substances in and out of the cell, because cell needs a lot of things, starting from the gases, that is oxygen for respiration, and the carbon dioxide formed after respiration needs to be expelled out. For all these, what is required? The membrane should allow the movement. Then the cell needs water, so the water also has to come inside, and if excess water is there, it has to go out. Third, nutrients. The cells need nutrients because it is living, so the nutrients have to come inside. And cells have a lot of waste produced. The waste also should be eliminated out. So there are so many things going in and out of the cell. How can these substances move? It is mainly because of diffusion or sometimes osmosis. Let's understand these concepts well. Diffusion is a spontaneous movement of molecules from region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. That means there is no parameter involved here. Only condition is high concentration and low concentration. No membrane required, no other forces required to pull them, nothing like that. So diffusion commonly happens with the gases. For example, suppose imagine I am using a perfume. I am spraying the perfume here, but somebody sitting in the other corner of the room will also get the smell. Why? Because when I am spraying, the molecules are more here. From this higher concentration, they will just diffuse, they spread out, because gases can move easily. The molecular movement is easy. So they will reach the other person's nostrils and they can also feel the smell. Think about some ink I am dropping into a beaker of water. Even if you don't stir, slowly it will spread throughout the water. After some time it becomes even. That is also kind of diffusion. Or imagine I am putting an agarbatti in one corner of the room. The smoke and the fragrance will fill the entire room. That is also by diffusion. So movement of molecules from where they are more, that is called the region of their higher concentration, to the place where they are less, that is region of their lower concentration, is called a diffusion. It's a spontaneous movement. Spontaneous means what? Self. Nobody is compelling it. Okay, spontaneous movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration is called what? The diffusion. Now, when we talk about diffusion, the cells usually exchange gases with the help of diffusion. For example, oxygen is there more in the blood than in the cell. So from the blood, oxygen will come or enter into the tissues. Tissues means the cells basically. And inside the cell, what is more? Carbon dioxide is more, which is less in the blood. So from cells, carbon dioxide will go from the cell to the blood, that is higher concentration to lower concentration. Then we call it as deoxygenated blood. The deoxygenated blood will come to our lungs, where it will go to alveoli, because in there the carbon dioxide is less and we exhale out. At the same time, what we are inhaling has more oxygen. It will go to the blood because more oxygen is now in the lungs than in the blood. So everywhere diffusion is happening in order to exchange the things. Even the amoeba, single-celled organism, exchange nutrients and waste, everything by diffusion only. Now, when we talk about osmosis, it is slightly different. In essence, we can say it is a kind of diffusion only, but here there is a condition. What is the condition? First of all, we are talking about movement of water molecules from a region of its higher concentration to a region of its lower concentration. Second condition, there should be a membrane allowing the movement across this. So, movement of water molecules from a region of its higher concentration to a region of its lower concentration is called through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. So osmosis is the movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Three conditions are there. Now, how will we say that the concentration is higher inside the cell or outside the cell. Hope you understood all the concepts I discuss here. Please help me reach this video to many people. Share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Thank you for watching Biology My Passion.